George Miles is my name, and I am here to do part 2 of our expense monitor PHP project. So our project will be written in PHP or HTML, CSS, jQuery, and Ajax, and we are going to use my SQL database to host all the income and expenses that we're posting on our forms. So I have created a folder which I've named expense monitor, and in this folder there are other two subfolders. One is CSS, which contains the file called bootstrap 3.3.7.css, and there's the other subfolder which is JS, which has two files, bootstrap.min.js and jQuery -3.2.1.min.js. Sorry. So these files we're going to link to them for us to work effectively. So let's begin by creating our index page, which we are going to name. I'm using a Mac, so I've clicked command.s, then it has brought me this, so I'm going to save this as index.php. So in the index.php, we're going to push in HTML. So this, we're going to just say expense monitor, and then this expense monitor, we are going to link our bootstrap CSS. So I am using bootstrap. You can go to the bootstrap website, which is blog.getbootstrap.com 3-3-7 released. I'll add the links where you can download the files that I am linking the expense monitor files to. So say css / bootstrap -3.3.7 .min. Actually, there's no min, just .css. Then we also attach the JavaScript file, which says source. Let's go to js/bootstrap-min.js, and the last one is scripts. Source is equal to js/jQuery -3.2.1-.min.js. So these are the three files that have links to the two files in JS and the other file in CSS folder. So we'll begin by saying div class equal to container div class to row div class call md12 div, and then we're going to give this class as a results. So this is a class where we'll have our results showing up. Everything that we'll be programming when we add up the income and the expense, they'll be showing up in this class called the results. So now let's design our forms, our two forms for income and for expense. Say class, got to call md6. We copy this, Control C, Control V, we paste it. Then this other div, we're going to say div class income div. Then we'll also create another div in this. We just say class equal to expense div. Then we can add a heading, say h1 class text center. We want to have the title centered, so expense monitor. Then we can also put underline. Then let's go to our project. So I've typed pushed in localhost / expense monitor / since it's already indexed, so I don't even need to add index.php. I'll just click, then it will show us expense monitor. So now let's design the two divs that will hold the forms that we need. So I think what we're going to do is just to style these two divs so that we have something to look at. Mean height is about 250 pixels. Then background, just say medium C green. Medium C green. Padding of about 20 pixels. Then we'll also get the other expense div. And we'll get these two, these three, and copy and paste them. Then we'll just change the background color to tomato. Then we can go back and see what we've done so far. Anyway, once we're going to create just a bit of margin from this borderline to these two separate colors that we have, these two demarcations that we've created. So in this case we just write as margin top, let's say 100 pixels. There you can see these two divs have moved. Then let's begin to create the first form, which will be the income form. So we can give it a header of say h3 class text center, say income form. So on the form we just say method is equal to post. Then we'll use bootstrap form systems, which has a class of form group, and the label will be income source, say input equal to text, then will be income source id income source, class is equal to be form control, placeholder will say ag salary. Then we'll do another div which is class form group, label the amount, input type text, income amount, and id is call it the same income amount. Just so that we just push in say eg 500. Then we'll create a button, say add income or submit income. So the type is going to be button. Actually, the type will be submit. Then we're going to give it a class of btn default. So let's go back to our browser and check what we've done so far. Okay, so we'll get back here. We say our class is equal to form control. We go back here and check. We have a decent looking income form. Then we can make this pattern. We can give it an ID so that we give it a width of 100%. So say submit btn, and we'll copy this and come back here on the styling. Then we sort the class. It's so we'll give it a hash at the front. We'll say width is equal to 100%. Okay, you can see the button. It's now 100%. On the other side now, we're going to create or before we create the other form for expenses, let's create the currency that we'll be using. So in this case, we're just going to create an input tag with type code hidden. Then the name, we're just going to give it as currency, and ID is equal to currency, and then the value. Here I'm going to use dollar because the dollar symbol is actually, the dollar is the most or commonly used currency in the world. Or you can use anything that you want here. I'm in Zambia, so I've done something like this, ZMW. But since this video will be watched by people around the world and they easily know the dollar, so I'll just use the symbol for the dollar. So this input is hidden. I don't want it to be seen here. So even if I refresh, you will not see it here. Then now we can go ahead and create the other form. So this other form will be, we'll give it a header of h3 class text center, say expenses, expense form or expenses form. Then we build the form. So we're going to give it an ID as expenses form method is equal to post, and then we create what we will use now. Class is equal to form group, label is equal to expense name, the name of the expense that you are spending your money on, and the label will be, actually not the label, the input got to be text, expense name, wrong spelling somewhere there, expense name, ID, expense name, class go to form control. Then we create another div, which is form group. Label is amount, input type text, name, expense, amount, ID, expense, amount, class, form group, form control. Then we can also add the input type hidden, currency ID, currency value equal to hashtag. Actually $sign, not a hashtag, sorry. Then we create a button, say calculate. So this button is going to be type, it's going to be submit, class btn default ID, calculate btn. So we'll make it to have a small c. Then we can also make the entire button width to be 100%. Then let's go back to our browser and see what we've done so far. Okay, so we have two forms. This one will calculate your income, and this one will also calculate your expenses. I think for now we can pause here and take a bit of break. We'll continue with our programming later.